As Alice rushes home, and her sister notices that Alice's dress is covered in mud and dirt. Her sister said that she just bought Alice that dress for her next day of school, for a new fall school year. And once Alice explains that some bullies pushed her in the mud, her sister said she knew she should have aimed for a more homeschooled method. Alice would then tell her sister, "So what, I would be stuck to more of your pictureless history lessons?" Alice would only pass her sister and put on a blue dress with her usual clothing, with her usual style. Her sister looks at her and notices that she's back in her original style. Alice says that pink wasn't always her color. Blue was always her color. Her sister would think that the bullies needed to be taught a major lesson. So Mathilda decided to follow Alice back to school. Alice's teacher would only look at Mathilda in shock and surprise. "Miss Mathilda, if you're here to get Alice out of school early, it's almost time for us to start another math lesson." I'm not here to do any of that. I was wondering, are you in the market for... Oh. You're here for the paraeducator gig. If it's alright with Alice. Wait, she hasn't arrived yet? But she left ahead of me. Sorry I'm late. These are lovely. Alice shows her likeness to her teacher by bringing in Alice must have traveled along the line of the daisy shore we usually go to do our history lessons on. That's what you really do for your Sundays? History lessons? Alice, your sister has offered to be our new paraeducator after our other one quit. I would love to have my sister as a paraeducator. Great, you'll be starting first thing tomorrow morning. Alice's friends just look at her. You must be embarrassed. Meaning that your sister as an educator means you're going to be getting some special attention. My sister wouldn't do anything to embarrass me. We're family. Once Alice leaves school, she takes the same way she usually takes home every day. The next morning, school plays out the same way. The next day at lunch, that day at lunch, Mathilda and Alice head out. Once at recess, Mathilda watches Alice and her friends. Some of her friends are just telling Alice that she must be majorly embarrassed, but Alice just tells them to stop. Alice says that her sister is the only thing close to family she has right now. As her sister was too always choked up to talk about what their mother was like. Her friends just look at her, thinking that Alice must have a tragic family backstory. With one of Alice's friends just try to not to say anything that will upset her or make her cry anymore. Meanwhile, the bullies that got detention are busy thinking about ways to get their revenge on Alice. Behind them, Alice's sister appears. "Where are you boys? I hope you boys are thinking about what you did to my sister." Not cooking up ways to get back at her for putting you here. Do you realize you got detention because of what you did? My sister doesn't get detention because she does all of her work. You two just spend your time bullying her. Well, her dreams of Wonderland were annoying us. So of course we had to... You ruined one of her dresses, and I had to double wash it. Alice comes in from recess to actually just... Alice then tells her sister to stop, as the bullies need to learn their lesson the detention way, not by means of her sister's way. Alice then proceeds to the girls' washroom, as she was preparing for her next class. Does anyone notice that Alice has been acting a little weird recently? She's been paying attention more in class recently. She was doing a nice thing for our teacher by putting... And do you notice the daisies? They weren't even in a daisy chain. They were freshly picked without one bit of a chain. Mathilda listened in on this conversation and asked, "What?" "Well, usually when Alice leaves flowers for our teacher, they're in the form of a daisy chain, not arranged and picked like a responsible person would. Alice isn't that responsible. She's more imaginative and kind." Mathilda wasn't too worried about this, because Alice just sometimes picks daisies that way when she needs to. Alice always sometimes doesn't pick daisies and string them into chains. She does that when it's summertime. Why does she do it when it's summer? You see, whenever we're going out on one of our usual walks, we always stop by the usual daisy fields to see if any daisies are in bloom. Sometimes Alice will string them into chains, other times she would just pick them. I remember when our mother died. Alice was only 11 when it happened, so she doesn't remember anything except our mother's passing. But why doesn't Alice want to talk about it? We're her friends after all. We're always there to support her. Yes, but this is something friendship can't support. Just because you're friends doesn't mean you'll be able to support everything that happens to her. One of those things happens to be our mother. Alice wasn't very close with our mother. Me and Alice have always had a mother and daughter-like bond. What? A lot of sisters have a lot of those relationships. Once the bell rang, Alice and the other members of Alice's class went back to the